Yo, what is up, guys? It's me, Eve, again here, and today we have an exciting video about the Christmas Kaneki can that just came out, a limited time character, and he probably will not, at least not come back until the next Christmas. So today we're gonna do a review on this guy, as well as the Christmas Hinami, who is also on his like in this event. You can will probably get her. I at least think we should be able to get at least one copy. I don't know, we'll see it definitely today if one copy of her is gonna be viable for all of this stuff, because it seems like one copy is not too much, and especially like basically on any character you would love to at least get a few copies for that character to be decent. So let's open up and see what this guy is all about. So first of all, Kaneki here deals damage equal to 420% of an attack to the enemy target, applying a stun. I'm gonna call this stun to the enemy, I guess, for one turn. So the stun unable to take any action. Damage taken increases by 30%. Any attack suffered cancels the effect. Okay. So he can stun for one turn and as well debuff the character he stunned. As well as he's a red character, solo target. If he was AoE, that would be crazy. But I guess we need to. That would be too OP, so they wouldn't. They probably would never do something like that for sure. Okay, when his standard passive, when dealing damage to an stunned target, it will be crit, and it will not remove the target's stun. So, if you stun him, and the other characters try to hit him, it's gonna be crit, as well as it will not remove his stun there. That's good. That's very good. But it's only for one turn, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. But if you're starting first, his stun is not removed, so that character will not wake up after you finish your turn, for example, and then he's starting. But let's see his first start here. When you take damage, increase all allies' attack-related stats by 4% for 2 turns. If the attacker is afflicted by numb, remove all numb effects and apply stun for 1 turn. Otherwise, apply 1 stack of numb to the attacker for 1 turn. So this is stun, and numb is increased damage taken by 5%, reduces damage dealt by 10%. So this is just a debuff. We're gonna call this not numb, maybe a debuff here. This is stun, this is debuff. Just so like everyone can understand it much more clearly, what is it all about. When you take damage, again, increases everyone's attack. That's good, again. Not maybe too big, 4%, not so big, but still not bad. If the attacker was affected by the numb previously, before he attacks you, he removes all numb effects and applies stun on that one for 1 turn. Otherwise, applies 1 stack of numb to the attacker for 1 turn. So if the attacker wasn't afflicted by numb, he applies numb. If he was afflicted by the debuff here, he applies the stun on him as well. So that seems very cool. But I think for this to really work that good, he would need to have like something like taunt. That would be great for him. That would make him even more stronger, because without taunt, for example, if you take this character to PvP, people knowing this stuff about him, not even gonna try to go for him. Especially like 2 times in a row, that's just stupid. They would just try to avoid and like go for every other character except for him, like because this debuff that he applies or even stun can be sometimes fatal in some terms. So I don't think it's that good without a taunt. With taunt, this actually would be insanely strong. But without taunt, I think this is not so strong here. But definitely a good first star for this character if you're gonna be using this guy only as a PvE character. I don't think this character is gonna be useful in PvP. Maybe only if you're gonna be attacking with the numb, but then this star is not really useful for you. We actually need to like test how this works on the AoE attacks. Does it also work with the AoE attacks? For example, if Ayato is attacking with the AoE damage, then if this is applying for that one, that would work insanely good. But for example, versus solo target characters, this is definitely not gonna be the way of using him, because he's gonna be useless versus them, unfortunately. Okay, second star, applying weak grants stun to the target for 1 turn, stun, unable to take any action. Okay, so when he applies weak as well, it's again stun. When your turn ends, deal 180% of your attack damage to a random enemy target afflicted by debuff or the stun, and reduce the target's attack related stats by 15% for 2 turns. Prioritize targets with numb. Okay, so this is basically a passive of Uta when he attacks by itself after the end of the turn, but also so he debuffs them after he attacks, but he prioritizes the numb and the stun characters. So that seems very strong as well. I don't know about this one, because this is like, if you're probably attacking, you're still gonna be putting the stun on the characters. So does that actually do that much? This is probably the one pay to win players one. 3 stars, very strong here. Again, he gets the passive of Uta basically, but with the better stuff that he does with debuffs there, as well as, for example, if you're working, I think this definitely should work with the AoE characters, so it's not that bad. He looks very good, interesting here and here. I don't think it's sorry, here on the 3rd star as well. First and 3rd star look very interesting. They look very useful, at least in PvE. I don't know how it's gonna look in PvP there, but this could be something that makes Juzo useless. If this actually applies stun after every time like Juzo tries to strike everyone and you have this Kaneki in your team, this can be very strong. Juzo is just gonna be out of this game, and Ayato as well probably. But Juzo is gonna take so much shit for that, because he's not only getting stunned, but he as well can get weakened by this guy, because he's obviously red and a solo target, so he can get weakened as well as debuffed on top of that. So Juzo is gonna take some L's there, bro. Unfortunately, even though I love Juzo, but bro, this character can demolish Juzo in that sense. Ayato is probably much better there, because he at least doesn't get weak from when he will get attacked by Kaneki here. But again, this is less just damage there. But 420 damage on the solar target. For example, if you would compare this, let's see how much the damaging character, because he's not a damager for sure. He's more of a like defensive type, like debuffer, maybe like an attacking support. Let's call him that. Attacking support would be great. Here, 410% of attack to the target, as well as weak there. So he does 10% more, but Kaneki gets like stronger over time, as well as applying a lot of weak, and that's why you would like use him. And here he stuns as well. So this seems very strong. Like his damage seems very strong on at least his normal attacks. Like let's as well see this here. 185 and 240, and here Kaneki is 180 and 250. So it's a little bit bigger here on Kaneki, but on the 3-star, my boy Kaneki is a little bit less, but he does much more weak. And basically, a lot of the time, Kaneki can, on 3 stars, he can just weaken the green characters to shit. So like it's basically a stun there. And then you would be thinking like, do I actually need this character? Cause like Kaneki applying his weak, like when you get weaked, you are stunned basically. Like you can't use that character for that round for sure. And usually when there is Uta in the team, Kaneki most of the time is at least 2 stars to 3 stars. Most of the time it's like even 3 stars. 2 stars is minimum. So is he actually that viable in there? Yes, he's good. You don't really need Uta to apply stun in that sense. That's good. But as well as the defensive here, I think he's a very solid character in that sense. Actually, they should put him in the ranking here, right? So I want to see where did they put him. So this kind of okay, he's here. Damn, they're putting him so high. I definitely think he's very strong, but is he that strong to actually be in the meta for a long time, or is he not gonna be there? I'm more thinking of that he's gonna be good PvE character, maybe not so much PvP character. He's gonna be interesting for versus some bosses that don't have the like when they don't get stunned. If those bosses, for versus those bosses, that would be very strong and very interesting. But most of the bosses have that, so you can't really like weaken them or even stun them. So they're maybe not so viable, but definitely he could be some interesting picks in some game modes as well as arenas. Definitely not a bad pick for standard arena. Maybe not RTA. RTA we still need to see what is gonna be, but his sweet spot definitely 1st star for free to play. Probably best place to like stop if you actually want to go for him. 3 stars ideal for this character. Definitely like if you have a lot of diamonds and you don't really care about like next characters, I think it's Helter, and then it's gonna be Tatara. You don't really care about Helter, so you can definitely go for this character. I think it's not gonna be bad for you. At least getting to 1 star, definitely worth it. Interesting character there again. Still, they're gonna be. We need a lot of time to actually figure out like what team compositions he's gonna be playing in, because we already have characters like Nashiro here, who can also stun, but she's not that much used. She's just there sometimes, like you see her sometimes, but not too much. And he here is actually, I think he's gonna be used more. I think he's gonna be definitely a replacement for Nashoro for sure, in that sense. So I think he's gonna be a solid character, but I don't think he's gonna be like a meta-changing character there for sure. I don't think so. I think people gonna play him for like maybe a month and then forget about him even existing, or he's gonna be like played in some different instances or some different strats that we will see in the future. But for now, I don't think everyone will be playing him, but I could be definitely wrong, and it's just my personal opinion how I'm trying to see him in which team he's gonna be useful in, and which team are you gonna be picking him. But he definitely looks like a universal character that you can literally put in any team and he won't be bad there. He does decent damage, applying stuns and debuffs as well, so it's very strong in that sense, and definitely not a bad character to spend your diamonds. Maybe not too much, and not right now. We still have time. This banner is gonna be for 12 days still, so just wait. We'll see how the meta develops, and you can, like, if you want to, you can summon like in a week from this time. We'll definitely need to see more of this character to see if he's gonna be viable in the teams again. Now let's talk about Hinami. Finally a free Hinami, thank you. That's what I wanted to see. Hopefully we'll be able to get her one copy. I think we're definitely gonna be able to get at least one. When your character is granted with Inspire, increases the character's damage dealt by 2% and reduces damage taken by 3%, limits to 5 times per character. Okay, Inspire is damage increase dealt by 10%, max HP by 5%, and restoration rate by 10%. So basically she heals as well as buffs, but in terms of how this worked with Hinami, the limited one, the standard Hinami, I guess. This Hinami, she deals much more damage, as you can see here, as well as she heals much more. But this Hinami here as well buffs the damage, and not only that, but a restoration rate as well. So it's definitely not, I think, as strong as it would be with that Hinami. In that sense, this Hinami is definitely much stronger, but for a free character, this is definitely not bad. At least some healing. It's maybe not too big of a healing, but you should definitely think like this is a free character. They're basically giving to everybody, so they're not gonna be making her too OP, because that just doesn't make sense for them. They're not gonna be making money if they make an OP character like this. No one would be caring about like the standard Hinami. So let's check her out. First star. When your character is granted with Inspire, or your Anteiku character deals damage, give the character 1 stack of Encourage, up to 3 stacks. When your character Inspire reaches 3 stacks, remove all Inspire stacks and give the character an effect of increasing all stats by 6% for 1 turn, and cannot gain any more courage during the period. Basic stats increase by 2%, so it's by like 3 times, 6% there. Not too big as well. I think again this is like a lesser version of Hinami here, but Hinami is more focused on like healing, and this Hinami kind of feels like focused on buffing the characters there. But maybe she could work in an Anteiku team up, maybe. For example, buffing Kaneki stats for him to attack more, as well as healing him. would not be bad as well, I think. Otherwise, like 3 stacks, 6% not so big, so I don't know if that's strong. At least for now, it seems very mid. That standard Hinami definitely much better in that sense. When afflicting by weak, grants Inspire to your characters with a higher attack for 1 turn. Inspire increased damage dealt by 10%, max HP by 5%, and restore rate by 10%. Again, damage increase 10% here is better. Like on Inspire here, it's definitely better. 10%. I don't know why didn't they just give 10% here as well on the Encourage. Like 6% is not that big. You could just give it 10% here. That would be at least decent. Again, Inspire here when it's weak. Okay. When your character Encourage is removed, the character is granted with weak immunity for 1 turn and heal 15% of the character max HP. Okay, healing again, not bad, but not as much as the standard Hinami heals. So I think based on all of this, she's like a more support that's not really based on healing as the Hinami was, because Hinami is basically just a healer. And she as well that deals a lot of damage, yes, but her main focus is obviously healing while doing the damage. And she's just here to make small buffs for everything. Basically, she just buffs everything she possibly can, like at the stats, all of the stats here, for example, all stats by 6%. It's just, and damage here, XP and the restoration rate, all of that, like they put everything they can to buff on this character, literally everything they could. But I feel like she's actually kind of mid. I think this Hinami is actually better. At least in my opinion, this Hinami looks better for sure than the new Christmas one. But again, she's a new character. We need to test her out. We need to see maybe in Anteiku in her Anteiku stack with a team of only Anteiku characters with all like Ape, the characters who also buff. She could work really well in that sense, especially if you put another Hinami, the standard Hinami is there as well, who can heal. She will be buffing. Ape can buff. All can buff, and for example, someone like Kaneki or Toke are gonna be the damage. Maybe that could be working somehow. But definitely, I think probably Anteiku team would love her more than other teams, but she definitely seems like a universal character as well, who's just buffing. But I think they specifically put the Anteiku characters here just because she's definitely gonna be used there, I think, more than any other teams. But not a bad character for sure, solid. Maybe not so strong like this Kaneki, but we're getting him from the banner. That's pretty obvious that he's gonna be better than just character that we get for free, basically just doing and playing the game and doing the dailies in the new Christmas event. So I encourage you to go and do all of the dailies, at least try to do all of them every day, and try to get yourself all of her copies. Where is it? It's here, yes. Here you will get 10 times of 2 of her fragments. Third here 10 times 5 fragments, as well as in the fourth one you'll just get 1 copy of her, basically. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to get this. This is something I feel like this is sketchy, because I don't think we're able to, if we're able to get this, then we're definitely not gonna be able to get this. I think they're gonna at least try to make this so like you need to pay to get this stuff here. but we definitely need to see all about that, and that would be interesting to check. So do the dailies, do the special ceremony as well. Holiday signups, don't forget to log in every day so you get a lot of copies of Hinami here, so you definitely have a chance to get at least one copy of her. Other than this, thanks a lot for watching. Please like, subscribe, leave your comments. I definitely want to see what's on your mind. Do you think those characters are gonna be meta, or are they gonna be just like interesting and somewhat useful in some specific cases? For example, like someone like Nashiro and Nico, even though they seem bad on paper, they have their uses in some different modes that you would really not use them in other modes other than those ones. So have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.